Hello, it's JackOfSpades050, and as the title of this video suggests, I have now finished my first year at university. Well, in reality, it was 2 weeks ago. I'm just finally getting around to recording this YouTube video. This is a part of my sort of video diary of my university experience, and is a very inconsistent diary. I have not done a part of this since my first semester ended. But, it feels right to update it at the end of the first year. So what I'm going to do is just give a little laydown of how this year went and end with some feelings, thoughts, fear, happiness, excitement for the future. So let's begin at the beginning. So the first day I moved in was very daunting, scary, yet exciting, because I was very excited to start university, but the thought of having to fend for myself was terrifying because I'd lived with my parents my entire life up until this point. But something which made it feel a bit better was the fact that I was with 4 other people in the exact same boat. I was not, because 2 of them were in their 3rd year, and they were Korean exchange students. And they were maybe 2 of the most lovely people I've ever met in my life. Genuinely, they were some of the most amazing people. But that did leave 2 other people in the same boat as me, so it wasn't too bad. Now, I don't think I can get into much of what I did during Freshers Week due to YouTube's terms of services, but the only hint I'll give is a lot of quote-unquote spicy apple juice was drank on my behalf. Which now brings us to my first proper week at university. And this was a very, nerve-wracking experience because I did not know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know how much work there'd be, if the people there would be nice, or if I would be screwed. Luckily, it was a pretty good start of the year. So I just had a couple of normal classes, and then at the end of the week we went on a trip to this little museum garden thing with these giant sculptures. And because the course I take is photography, I don't think I've actually mentioned what course I do up until this point. Well, anyway, I take photography, so we had to take photos of these giant sculptures, which were scattered about. And then after this, we went to Wakefield, which was a lot less fun because Wakefield is a pretty scary place, and I've never been. But yeah, I survived. This week felt like a sort of taster session, well, taster week, for what we could expect for the rest of our year. And we didn't go on any of the trips for the rest of the first semester. We went on one during the second semester, which was to Bradford. Again, terrifying. I don't know why my tutors want to scare us so much, going to these scary places, but that was the other trip. I am not going to talk too much about my first semester due to me already having a video based entirely on that. So after you've watched this, feel free to check that video out. Look at me doing self-promotion. But just to give a quick little synopsis, I wrote 2 pretty good essays. They did well. I did a lot of coursework. Most of that did well. But there was one module I did not do too well on, which was based around film cameras, and because this was something I never learned before, I did not do the best. It took me a embarrassing amount of time to truly get good at film, which led to me failing because by the time I got good, there wasn't really much time for me to correct my mistakes. But I reset and I passed with flying colours, so that's all in the past. So now this takes us to the Christmas holidays. It was just Christmas holidays. I did not have much work to do because my tutors were nice and just let us have Christmas off. So yeah, that now brings us to my second semester, which so far I think has gone well. I'm yet to get my results back, but I'm pretty sure I've done alright. Now this semester did start pretty much the same as semester 1, just less introductory and more let's get back to business. We got the brief laid down, we did research, and on the second week, the dreaded Bradford trip. It was not as bad as I was thinking. I was terrified. I'd heard some pretty nasty things about Bradford as a city. But personally, I thought I was a part of Leeds my entire life, and I found out Bradford's its own city, which blew my mind, because when we got to Bradford, I didn't even realise, because there is no, connecting roads between Leeds and Bradford. It's just, you just go from Leeds to Bradford. There is literally no indication of that. But I had heard horror stories about Bradford. I was told it was like the worst place on earth. I was told I was gonna get mugged, stabbed, and murdered. But no, it was actually quite alright. Definitely wouldn't go again, but it was not as bad as people were making it out to be. Like, it was fine, and we just did a photo shoot around the city centre, and I got some results which I was pretty happy with. Also, the courage and the balls my teachers had to allow us to have 30 cameras worth around £1,500 each, just chilling around Bradford city centre. If even one of those cameras went missing, that is over £1,000 the university would lose. But luckily, no one got mugged. We have the happy ending, because, you know, if someone got mugged, that's awful. Probably the best part of Bradford is the fact I went to a Weatherspoons and got a boneless basket. That was pretty cool. So, after surviving Bradford, the rest of the semester carried on. The highlight of this is definitely experimenting with the bigger films, both of which, for me, went surprisingly well. I did a medium format shoot which went almost perfect. But maybe one of the coolest things I did this entire year was a large format film. Think of the old Victorian cameras where you have to wear a little cloak over your head. I did one of them. I got an amazing photo because of it. I wish I could show you guys the photo I took, but I do not have the necessary editing skills to put it on the screen. And trust me when I tell you, I went ultra try-hard mode to get this photo. So there's this building on campus which has this really high balcony and it overlooks the entire campus, because for the shoot we had to take it on campus. I carried this heavy camera up 3 flights of stairs onto this balcony just for one photograph, because I knew it would be amazing, and it turned out to be amazing. I was ecstatic. I was amazed by my own skill. For the rest of the semester, I did a digital photography project, which is just based around my experience moving to uni, and just 2 more essays. They're not as interesting as the film and Bradford stuff, so I'm not going to really speak much on them. And now we can talk about the future, briefly. My bank account is terrified. I have to pay £9,000 worth of rent, 7 of which is covered by my loans, which makes £2,000 my responsibility. So if this YouTube thing ever wants to take off, please do it now. I need the money. I need that YouTuber bank. But to speak about my actual cause, I am excited to carry on what we started this year. And I've had a brief look at the sort of timetable, like what we can expect, and I am pretty excited. I am optimistic for the future. So that brings us to the conclusion. I am excited and optimistic for next year, and this year was great. I will continue to update the series throughout my 2nd and 3rd year. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, etc, etc. And you knew I had to win this Minecraft game.